to go.
That's right. Get your boost of Gwynn and Crease on this Thursday afternoon, 2 o'clock. Welcome in. Short show today.
That's how Lola, my housekeeper, pronounces my name.
Crease.
Yeah. She's the one that wiped off my Jalen Waddle.
She smudged the Jalen Waddle
yeah, right.
signature. Yes, we found that out yesterday.
Right.
Short show today. The beginning of what should be a fantastic NFL week starts today. Was it Eagles, Commanders?
Correct.
Yeah.
Should be a good matchup.
Just think how much better it would be if it was Eagles versus Washington FT. Be even more interesting.
I don't think so.
You know what's funny? Do you remember Chuck Pagano? I thought of you quite a bit today.
Oh, Chuck Pagano, the old special teams coach?
Right, special teams coach. I think he was the head coach there for the Colts for a little bit, right?
Right.
He was on Pat McAfee's show today. And the whole segment, I thought, man, I think Chris would really like this segment. I know he doesn't like Pat McAfee too much, but his actual show is pretty normal. He'll have some wild spots. But I bring it up because you were talking about Washington FT.
Yeah.
And Chuck Pagano was telling a story of something that was happening. And he was like, the Washington Reds, and the whole place got quiet. They said,
"Oh, you can't say that."
I caught myself.
He caught himself.
I thought of you when that happened.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you've committed a felony now if you say unintentionally say the word Redskins.
Yeah, no, I know.
It's like, oh my God, you've just bothered the entire society, even if it's totally by accident. Not allowed to. Cleveland Indians. Oh my God.
Yeah, no, I can't do it
anymore. Might as well go right to jail.
Dennis Lynn will join us in the 2 o'clock hour. Talk a little Padres baseball. We got a Chris versus the fans, a daily Gambit, and of course Gwynn and Chris's NFL pick'em.
Yeah, I think we should can that segment for the rest of the year.
I agree.
I think it's going well.
Oh my, it is going well for you. Tony is so far ahead.
I think it's going well.
It's hardly even a contest anymore.
This is how it happens every year, it seems like.
That's not true. I think it's always very competitive. This year it's
the bear.
not. Yes, you are.
He's been doing that quite a bit today.
No kidding, man. I get up this morning and Tony's doing a nice job sending out some topics to our little, what do we call that? What do we call that the three of us have? Is that a
group text?
It's a group thread.
Group thread.
Don't say what I sent. You can say that I was poking the bear, but don't say what I sent.
Yeah, you poke the bear. No, I'm just saying you poke the bear, and then you put a picture of the Grinch
yes.
smiling
as if
from
you were being
ear.
something dastardly.
Dastardly is a great word for it. I did feel quite dastardly.
Yeah, well, don't do that when I'm trying to enjoy my breakfast.
Knock it off.
I'm sorry I texted Chris during the non-existent breakfast time that he has blocked off in his calendar.
Well, yeah, we're going over stories. Skraby's funny. He plays victim a lot when we're on air, but he is plays. He generally is the one starting stuff outside of the show.
He starts at 99% of the time.
99%.
And then you guys hear the show and you think we treat him poorly.
Well, yeah, but he's just catching.
He's asking for it all day long.
Exactly.
And
today he tried to reel me in, and I didn't take the bait. I just let him have it. We didn't even actually text again until I got here. So
I was like,
that was the last text.
He didn't take the bait, and then I had to send a text about business.
Yeah,
and so
that's
I was like, hey
goes.
guys, remember we got Dennis Lynn. You're too good at that. I would have taken the bait.
That's what you consistently do.
That is what I consistently do.
The chat is probably the best at baiting you and getting you to try to respond.
I did a lot of soul searching last night on the drive home.
How was the Chronicles?
Chronicles was great. Chronicles was awesome. Sam joined me for the last part. I made a proclamation.
Oh, you guys did a crossover. My favorite.
We do crossovers, yes. And Sam was in Long Island.
Doesn't the guy already do enough work? You got to bring him into your show?
I texted him saying, if you want to, you can.
I see.
That's the guilty text right there.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
What's he going to say?
If you want to.
What's he going to say? No?
I did.
Sam's too nice to say no. You put him in an impossible spot.
Possible. Impossible.
I made a cardinal sin in radio last night, or I committed a cardinal sin in radio.
What you did?
What you did. I teased the story and I never talked about it. And I realized on the way home, I guess I'm part of your guys' coaching tree.
I was about to say, we shouldn't throw rocks since we do live in the glass
Yes, we
house
kind of
in this
invented
one.
that, and we confirmed it with the Larry Walker story the other day that we
Yes,
never
we did.
paid off until Craig.
So can I pay off
pointed
that
it out.
story?
Well, you want to tell us what the beginning of it, or are you just going to pay it off? 'Cause
It's
we don't
really
know
an
the
easy story. The whole time I was like, we know where Shohei Ohtani's 50-50 ball has ended up. Have you guys seen this thing? Like the people who bought the ball put it up for. They put it up like in a tourist attraction is the word I'm looking for, but it's a Taiwanese tourist attraction and it's being displayed right now. And they paid $4.4 million for it. And until March 2nd, 2025, you can go and see this ball. UC Capital was the company that bought it.
How far out of your way would you go to view a baseball?
If I'm in
just any old baseball.
If I'm in
Really?
Taiwan, I may go.
There isn't a baseball on the planet that
I
would
don't
get
get
me
it.
off of the lane that I was in.
I
to
don't
come
get
see
it.
Even
It's
if you
a
were in
baseball.
Taiwan and you're like, oh, hey, Shohei Ohtani's 50-50 ball.
To see a baseball?
Come on,
I'm not
man.
waiting in line.
Get a life.
Nah, man, I'm good.
Get a life, Chris.
I mean, I would say the same thing to everybody who knocks over 8-year-old kids to catch a foul ball. Get a life, for heaven's sakes. Even if you end up with the foul ball, what are you going to do with it? Really? What are you doing with it? Putting it up where? You displaying it proudly at home, inviting the neighbors over to look at the foul ball you caught. You're not the only person on earth who's ever caught a foul ball.
We're talking
Almost
about a
everybody's caught
50-50
one.
ball. We're talking about the one ball in the history of baseball that set a record that's never been done before.
I don't
A
get it.
random foul ball, I get it, Chris. I mean, no
Don't
one
get it.
cares about that. But this is a history-making ball, and it's going to end up in Cooperstown one day.
Okay. And well, I'll be forced to look at it there.
And McKee says, I've seen the Bonds asterisk ball in the Hall of Fame. I don't know what the asterisk ball is. That when he broke the record?
Yeah, he broke the record.
So there you go. There are people out there that go look at that stuff.
Oh, I
I
get that.
By the way, he went to the Hall of Fame though. Like he was already in a place to kind of go view those type of thing. Now you said if I was what'd you say
if you're in Taiwan.
If I was in Taiwan.
Yeah, he's saying you'd go out. You should go out of your
I'm
way.
not saying you guys go fly to Taiwan just to see the ball, but if you're vacationing in Taiwan,
Headed to Taiwan to go see the show.
Where are you off to, Chris? I'm going to fly over to Taiwan for a minute. I'll be right back. I'm getting in at 9. I'm leaving at 10 a.m. I'll be there long enough to just glimpse Shohei Ohtani's baseball.
well, I lost sleep over not paying off on that story last night because I don't want to be like that. So thank you for allowing me to pay it off right now, guys.
We don't want
You didn't, but it wasn't even a story worth paying off, I must tell you.
That's to you.
Wow.
To anybody.
I don't like anything. Oh, wait, hold on. Who cares about mini helmets in an office lined up playing against each other? That's the same thing. Like that is the most ridiculous thing ever.
That's an informative display every week. I walk by it and I know who's playing everybody by looking at it. That's information.
I'm gonna break into your house. I'm gonna steal these helmets.
I'll just buy some more. It's not really that big of a deal to me. If you really want them, you can have them. I mean, they can be replaced.
Yeah, there's really
Wow, I guess I'm in the minority. Adam Klug just texted me saying he's a Braves fan. He wouldn't even go out of his way to see Hank Aaron's record-breaking ball.
There you go.
Why would you? It's a baseball.
That's the thing we're talking about a baseball,
But
like,
it was used in
I get
history.
I get
It is history. I love that part of
It
things.
doesn't have the same appeal.
Like when I go to a museum and I see something
Like-
that's 1,000 years old, I love it.
Like if I happen to be within a couple of feet of said ball, I would,
You'd turn
I change around,
you'd
turn
look
around,
over,
and
yeah.
I go, maybe check it out. But in terms of getting in a vehicle to head to this said ball, don't think so.
I don't
think
really
so.
get the whole museum experience. Like
disappointing. way
Even
to
the
start
Hall
the
of
show.
Fame.
The behind the scenes part of the Hall of Fame was the thing I
that
loved.
was intriguing.
That
for
was
you.
the part that nobody else could see, so I felt special. Yeah, the Hall of Fame was great, but I've seen most of those pictures before.
Yep.
I've seen most of the jerseys. I went to the Padre display. One of your dad's jerseys was hanging there, which was fantastic, and there's a couple pictures of your dad. Seen him. I mean, I didn't have to go to Cooperstown. I think the fact that we were at the Hall of Fame was that sounded awesome.
Right.
But no, I agree. I don't think the Hall of Fame is all that incredible. There's nothing there that I really haven't seen a million times over. But going behind the scenes now, there was some stuff there that really nobody has seen.
Right.
So I kind of enjoyed that. But yeah, it's like the museum thing. I mean, they give you the tour and they tell you that this was built in 1493, and you look at it and you go, well, they weren't very good at building stuff in 1493 because it's falling apart. I
cannot believe this right now.
Why? I don't see the big I mean, everybody goes, oh, and I go,
they do.
That's nice. You know, it's okay. It's not bad.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, the Mona Lisa. So underwhelming, you would not believe it if you walked into the room and saw the Mona Lisa.
I'm not going to lie.
Completely underwhelming in every way.
Got a chance to be in the same, area.
Right.
And it's not. It's just, you go there expecting it to, like, make your heart race or, like, something out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
Really?
There's nothing special about the Mona Lisa other than the fact that they tell you this is the most famous painting in the world. But when you see it, there's nothing special. Now, the idiots in front of me who got into nearly a fist fight trying to get in position to photograph the Mona Lisa, that was much more entertaining than actually seeing the Mona Lisa.
I think it's awesome.
I think, Chris, you're onto something.
I think I'm onto something.
I think you're onto something there.
I think it's awesome to see any part of history.
I think it's awesome to, like, be there when the history is happening.
Leonardo da Vinci literally painted that with his hand. I think that's awesome.
I think it's awesome.
One of the most famous people in the history of man and women.
But here's my thing. If I were to meet Christopher Columbus, that's a bad example because he's a racist and never mind him.
All right.
If I were to meet, somebody of that greatness, it would be like, wow, this is pretty impressive. To see a picture of him doesn't really do that much.
Right.
It's, there he is. Okay, there she is.
Like
they are.
It would have been much more impressive to watch him actually paint it. Like
yes, Chris was there. That's why he doesn't care about it.
Right. I handed him the paint.
You've told me, Chris, before that you went to the Statue of David, and I saw the Statue of David, and that was impressive.
That was impressive. That was
thing
overwhelming.
was like 20 feet tall.
Yeah. That was impressive. I'm giving you that one. One.
Yes. And then I also saw the Sistine Chapel. Looked up. That was great too.
Right, but see, here's the difference though. Like you're marveling at the beauty and the size of
the scope,
the scope of it. Whereas a baseball, you literally come across one for you and Chris for 6 months out of the year.
I have one in my backpack.
You come across one almost daily.
Okay, I can
and so
get that.
it kind of takes.
But it came off Ohtani's bat, and it made him a 50-50 guy for the first time in Major League history.
To be fair, that ball could have possibly come off a lot of people's bats, other than Ohtani.
Before it got to him.
He's just the one that hit it out of the ballpark.
Well,
they don't reuse them, do they?
I'm just saying, like, the ball could have been, put in play. It could have been.
I caught a foul ball one time, and I used to display it in my room, and then I thought, what? It came off the bat of Jayhawk Owens, a ninth-string catcher for the Colorado Rockies.
You'll never forget him.
In a game at Mile High Stadium. You're right, I won't forget him, but I don't have the ball any longer. It was cool for a while.
I get that. I mean, that's not impressive, having a Jim Bob.
You can't even forget his name already.
Let's take it another step further. When you see celebrities walking, and you see this on TMZ all the time, they'll show somebody, Snoop Dogg or something, walking down the street, and there's yo-yos from every angle running at him with their cameras, making him stop so they can lean in and take a selfie so that they can go show everybody, I saw Snoop Dogg.
Right.
Who cares? We all see Snoop Dogg all the time. Richard Pryor had it the greatest, man. He did his comedy thing. He had a great concert footage. If anybody's ever seen Richard Pryor live in concert, you know what I'm talking about. He does this whole thing. Richard Pryor, I think, along with George Carlin, are the greatest two comedians of all time, but that's for debate. Anyway, Richard Pryor's doing this thing, and he's in the middle of his act, and he's just slaying. I mean, he's so hilarious. People are dying. right in the middle, some guy runs up from the stands to the front of the stage and holds up a camera. This is well before selfies on.
Right.
Holds up his camera and tries to, start. And Richard Pryor stops and looks at this guy and goes, "What are you doing?" And the guy's, trying to get in. And he goes, "Oh, you're trying to what? What are you going to do? Run home and tell everybody I got a picture of Richard Pryor?"
Especially at
and
that
Richard
time,
Pryor says, "Who gives a bleep?" What?
There's no instant photo in that case.
No, you didn't even get to see it for another 2 months.
This conversation has been fiery, and I love it. I think that we're in a different position too, Chris, because we do actually make contact with people that are quote unquote famous, and so
that's true.
It's not as special to us to see a famous person as it may be for someone who's not coming across these people.
That is legitimate point. Famous person, got you. But this is a baseball that has started this conversation.
We're back to the baseball. This is where we started.
I'm in the wrong. Everybody's telling me I'm wrong, so I'm in the wrong.
You shouldn't feel
Nobody's
too bad
in the
about that.
wrong. It's just a discussion worth having on a day when nothing's happening in sports.
As you can tell. Let's get to break. When we come back,
should we actually
Sasaki.
start talking about what's going on? Okay.
Roki Sasaki. He could very well be a Padre. I don't know anything. I'm just saying he could.
Wait, Tony, are you reporting news right now?
When it's all said and done, he could end up in a Padre uniform. We'll discuss it on the other side. They would like him to be posted at a certain time, and we'll explain that as well when we return.
I've never bought a car. Can you help?
Heck yeah, we can help. A lot of people don't know.
Jr., Matt Skraby. Gwynn and Chris, happy Thursday to you. Now, whereas, just to finish this conversation up, and then we're gonna get to the. This is pretty interesting from AJ Cassavell about Sasaki, the young Japanese pitcher. But just to finish this up, I don't like to go up to people and ask for their time, and and feel like take a picture, whatever to have to do. But I love it when you guys out there come up and say hi to us. So on the other side of it, I think it's great.
It is.
And last night we were playing our softball game, and this young guy playing second base for the other team, he must have made 3 or 4 Roberto Alomar plays in this game. And beautiful defensive plays for a softball game where nobody ever picks up a ground ball. And he made a bunch of plays. Then later in the game, he got a base hit. So he's on first base. I went over. I said, man, those were some pretty good plays. And he just said, me and my dad listen to the show every day, and we love it. Thank you. I was like, awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah, that stuff makes my day. So I want to say hi to him. I didn't get his name because the next guy whacked a double, and he was gone from first base before I could figure it out. But thank you to him and his dad for listening, and every out there who likes our show. We do enjoy it.
I think it's a different thing. I mean,
it is a little different.
That conversation devolved into human beings. We were talking about objects.
Yeah,
which is a little different. So
right.
To your point, though, I had an opportunity, and I told Skraby this. You guys just during the break. I had an opportunity when I was playing in Los Angeles to go to a Laker practice and sit and talk with Kobe. And I turned it down only because I was too,
little in
chicken
awe.
Bleep,
in awe of Kobe,
of going to see it. So going to see him. But I missed out on an opportunity, obviously.
But now you wish you had that back at this point, right?
1,000%.
Yeah, I mean, you should have done it, but what can you do now?
Nothing.
All right, here's the deal from AJ Cassavell, our MLB.com guy, who covers the Padres. Says this: because Sasaki is younger than 25 years old, he will be subject to the signing rules of an international amateur free agent. That means if he's posted by December 2nd, and what is posted? Let's clear this up for anybody. Means that he's made available.
He's available. Right.
Made available.
He's online and available.
He's available. So if he's made available by December 2nd, then teams can use only their 2024 signing pools,
which the Padres have already dipped into.
And the Padres have already used theirs.
Literally have $2,200.
They don't have anything left because they nearly went all in to get Leo Dallas DeVries in January. So that means what the Padres want and what you should want if you want the Padres to get him is that he's not posted until after December 2nd. That way the Padres can use next year's international pool, which gives them $6+ million. Big difference.
I would have to believe that Sasaki has at least some sway in when he's posted, because he clearly is going to know what teams will have the money to spend.
Right, so he should know. His agent should be able to tell him, look, the Padres, if you go before December 2nd, the Padres are out.
Right, and listen, I know it's the team that ultimately has to post. So at least in talking to him and the team, like, listen, we want to have as many options as possible.
Right.
The Padres just being one of the team. I'm sure the Padres aren't the only team that has spent their international pool salary or money that they have. So
right, there's probably other teams that would take out of the running.
I have a hard time believing he's going to be posted before that. If there's any interest in trying to help him get the best deal he can get.
All right, well, we'll keep our fingers crossed that we don't hear anything about Sasaki until after December 2nd in terms of posting.
That's a good
correct.
Thing.
As Manny Machado likes to say, I post.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll keep an eye on that, but interesting and well reported there by our friend AJ Cassavell. Appreciate that. Padres are renovating Western Metal Supply Company building at Petco Park. Skraby and Sam Levitt went into the front office, complained about the surroundings up there for the pre- and post-game show.
Is that right?
I mean, those two guys
said the digs are not up to snuff up there. which I disagree with. I thought it was very nice.
Do not put my name into this.
I thought it was very nice when we broadcast live from the upper deck of Western Metal Supply Company. But no, the Padres want to make it a better experience for everybody. So you can look for some changes in the Western Metal Supply Company building.
Do you want to hear the changes?
Sure.
Expansion of the
it's
new
not like
era.
seeing the Mona Lisa, but hell, I'll listen to him.
Expansion of the new era team store by 1,000 square feet. Transformation.
Wait, say that again. The first part.
Team store is going to be expanded by 1,000 feet.
That's on
square feet.
Okay, yeah, that's at the bottom of the Western Metal Supply Company building.
Near Tony Gwynn Drive.
Yes. It's on Tony Gwynn Drive.
All right. Transformation improvement of the left field corner Sony Entertainment Suite and exterior deck. Upgrades to the 5th floor Budweiser loft that will include an improved expanded foul pole suite and renovated bar area. New grand staircase connecting the Budweiser loft to the fully renovated Western Metal rooftop. New wall on the field side facing... Let me start that over. New wall on the field-facing side of the Western Metal rooftop, which will light up, including the night sky for celebratory moments.
There will be
so when there's a homer, there's some type of
light
light
show
show going
Oh,
on.
good. The building's going to light up or something.
Yeah.
I didn't hear any of the rest of it, but I heard that.
The building is going to light up.
The reason I didn't hear any of the rest of it is because I'm not going to be sitting in any foul pole suites.
That's right.
Anytime soon.
Taking that circular stairwell
Nobody's
up.
Nobody's going to be inviting me to there.
Okay,
So.
fair enough.
But hopefully Sam Levitt's pre- and post-game show surroundings are a little more plush.
Well, they're
next year.
upgrading the Budweiser loft, which
There
is
you
where
go.
Sam's
That's
at.
where
he hangs out.
broadcast from.
Yeah.
So the energy should be even higher now for
So
Sam.
don't laugh.
New
Sam may
digs.
have had some input into this. They may have called him.
Just saying.
He
Could
does
have
put his
happened.
foot down.
He did.
He does.
All right, we're underway. Dennis Lynn from The Athletic. He'll talk some Padre baseball. We'll find out his thoughts on Sasaki, what the Padres should not do here in this offseason. Daily Gambit is in the 3 o'clock hour, as always. Big Five in the 3 o'clock hour
Absolutely,
today.
yes.
All right. And
Dion's in the news.
Dion is you're talking about Dion quite a bit, and well, we'll pick it up in the Big Five, but I think he's going to be the next coach of the Cowboys. I think he should be.
Interesting. I didn't
We'll kick
think
that
we were going
around
in
in
that
a little
direction.
bit. We'll
but-
kick it around,
baby.
Kick it around later. 4 o'clock hour, Chris versus the fans, and I got to play another round of Gwynn and Chris Pick'em with the unbelievably lucky Tony Gwynn Jr., who every single week picks the upset. And really, you should take advantage of it out there, because whoever he picks as his upset, it's happened every single time
I
practically.
think I've only missed
one or two. I mean,
this year?
we're 10 weeks into the season, and you've called an upset almost every week. So we'll have that a little later. Right now, we take a quick break.
Ben and Woods on the Fan.
2:35 on the clock. Dennis Lynn to join us here shortly, talking a little Padre baseball. All the conversation has turned to Roki Sasaki, and
It's all Sasaki all the time.
yeah, it's all. And I think it's because at least right now he comes with a pretty cheap price tag, so that I think everybody assumes the Padres are in on him. Everything you read says AJ Preller has been plotting this for quite some time. This isn't something that just popped up on his radar.
Yeah.
So we'll have to sit back and wait and see what happens.
Yes, no truth to the rumor that AJ sent to Sasaki every Padre giveaway item from the 2024 season. So Sasaki has a Manny Machado bobblehead and other items.
I'm going to need to ask Sasaki if he can give me one of them. I'm missing one of the bobbleheads. So
Which
I'll have
one
to
you
ask
missing,
him.
Scraby?
I think it's the Xander Bogaerts one.
All right.
Got quiet in here.
I'm trying to remember
that
which
doesn't
one
help
that
me.
is.
Do you want one of these?
No, I'm not going to take the studio bobblehead.
No, not Ben Higgins's, but the pop yourself Funko.
Oh, Funko. No, I'm not a Funko
I have
guy.
a Manny one. If you,
do.
want it. Yeah.
I don't want it, but thank you. Actually, I do.
I
do.
don't want it,
I
actually.
do.
Thank
I
you.
do. I do.
Okay.
Thank you.
It'll be interesting to see what Dennis knows. Dennis is usually, a lot of times, the one who's breaking news here in San Diego. It's either him or Kevin most of the time, and it'll be interesting to see if he's heard anything. We talked a little bit about it with Bryce Miller in yesterday's show. The Padres' situation last year was a lot more straightforward, right? They knew they had to get under the third year consecutively of being over that tax threshold.
Correct.
So they knew they had to get under that. This year, as we discussed yesterday, you already have some guys who have long-term contracts who all of a sudden they get a kicker, meaning their salary goes up a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I want to ask him about is how much money they really might have left over once they give a salary raise to all of the guys that are due that because of their current contract. You know, we went through the list a couple of weeks ago, and Fernando gets more money this year.
Yeah, he gets more. Yeah.
Yeah, a whole bunch of guys like that get a whole bunch of money more.
And that's not counting the guys who are due to go to arbitration as well this year.
So I don't know how much money they're going to have. Maybe Dennis Lynn knows how much money they'll have. He'll be joining us shortly. Did we get to the bottom of which one's Beavis and which one's Butthead? These are the kind of conversations we have off the air.
Yeah, we couldn't figure out who was because
I didn't know which
couldn't
one was
figure it out.
which.
So I had to look it up.
Okay.
Beavis is the blonde one, and Butthead is the brown hair
I had
guy.
it flipped around.
Yeah, me too. I thought Beavis was the other guy.
It's interesting.
so.
I don't even think I would have had a guess. I just put Beavis and Butthead. They're like one thing to me.
You strike me
And
as
I
a
don't know
Beavis
which-
and Butthead guy.
Yeah, I didn't watch much. I am kind of into that humor, but I didn't see a lot of those back in the day. So I didn't know.
What was I going to go? Oh, so remember we were talking about the Rays and their home and questions.
Oh, where are they
of
going to play
where they're
next
gonna
year?
play.
Yes, I believe a decision has been made.
That has been made. They will be playing at the Tampa facility. That is the New York Yankees spring training facility.
Is that going to be nicer than where the A's are playing in Sacramento, in your estimation? A Yankee spring training facility or a minor league ballpark? What wins out? I think the Yankee facility probably.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. That one is, you know what? Quite frankly, it might be almost the same, but
About the same?
A little nicer digs because it's the big leaguers that are playing in the
Yankee
in the
facility,
Yankee
they've
facility.
probably got a little nicer couch and
Yeah.
things like that.
No doubt. All right, let's get to our guest of the day. It's none other than Dennis Lynn of The Athletic. Dennis, how is your off season going, my friend? It hasn't quite kicked up into overdrive yet.
Hey, Tony. Hey, Chris. Yeah, it definitely hasn't, so I'm trying to enjoy that little lull before whatever happens, whatever's coming for us starts happening. So, yeah, it's been good so far.
Dennis, I was just mentioning this. I wanted to ask you. There's a lot of Padre players that are due raises based on their current contract. I know Fernando's among them, and there's several other guys that are making a little bit more money than they made last year. Is that going to be enough money to impact what they have available in free agency, et cetera, or is that something they had maybe already planned for ahead of time?
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to have some kind of impact. To what extent, we're going to have to find out. But I think if you're looking right now at guys who are due arbitration raises, and if you're rolling out extensions that might lower some of those, average salaries, at least for next year, they're already over $200 million for payroll projected, and if you include the arbitration guys, and then I think they're above the luxury tax. So yeah, things could be pretty tight right now if nothing changes. I just think something has to change or something has to give if they're going to, address left field, address the rotation, sign a catcher or acquire a catcher. So yeah, they're looking at quite a few needs, and right now I know like ownership hasn't really come out and said these are our payroll plans. I don't really expect them to, at least not be specific in any, like concrete terms. So right now there is a lot of speculation, but it does seem like there might have to be some belt tightening if they're going to fit all these needs and keep some of these guys that they would like to keep.
So Dennis, last year when there was some belt tightening, it was some pretty obvious moves that were going to or had to be done in order to do that. I don't see the obvious moves this time around that I think that are at least at the forefront of people's minds. What are those moves along those lines? Or what could be
you're
those
right.
moves, I should say.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. I think they're also, if you're going to trade any of these guys who are making decent money, you're not expecting like a Michael King in return along those lines. So, but yeah, they do have some contracts that if you're looking at, where they could contract and essentially balance out the roster. They would be natural places to look, like Robert Suarez maybe, although he's got an opt-out after next season. So that kind of complicates the trade value. But if you've got a closer making $9-10 million and you've got a pretty deep bullpen right now, even without Tanner Scott, that would be an area I would look at, and maybe a Jay Cronenworth or a Luis Arise if they can't get to an extension with him, because he's going to be making maybe 13-14 million arbitration his final year before free agency. So if you can't get him signed to a long-term deal that's agreeable to the team, why not look at what you can get for him? Although I think his trade value is just kind of down around the league, just based on the fact he's been traded twice in 2 years, and teams don't seem to be super into a guy who hits for high average and not a lot of power and isn't much of a factor on the base pass or on defense. But it's definitely not like having a Juan Soto last offseason, where it was a pretty obvious move and also a move that got you a lot of pieces back in return.
Yeah.
So I think that adds to the complexity of this offseason.
Dennis Lynn is our guest. Dennis covers the Padres for The Athletic and does a phenomenally good job. Dennis, well, first of all, on a rise. There's no way to trade him. I mean, all you have to do is ask the analytic people. He's the worst player in baseball. So let's just move past that. Secondly, the shortstop situation, it was kind of funny because we were talking about this the other day. Last year, all we looked around the field and we saw nothing but shortstops on the team. Now, all of a sudden, they kind of have a hole at shortstop. It's almost ironic. How do you expect it to play out? Do you think they would be able to talk Xander into staying there? Or do you think they would prefer to move him back, Cronenworth back, and find somebody different at shortstop?
Well, number one, I don't expect Jay Cronenworth to be a factor at shortstop or a consideration, really. Yeah, he can do it on an emergency basis, but he's going to be over 30 years old, and he put on weight last season to play first base primarily. Then he ended up playing a little more second base than maybe we would have thought. But I don't think he's really on the table as far as at least definitely a full-time primary starting shortstop next season. But Xander Bogaerts right now feels like they don't really have much of a choice unless they bring back Ha-Seong Kim, which for right now looks unlikely. Never say never, right? But I think he's going to have some decent offers even with the shoulder surgery that he's coming back from. So I don't know how likely that is that he comes back there. But if he's not coming back, and if you're looking at maybe acquiring a shortstop, though there's not a lot of options out there because Willie Adonis is really the only shortstop who's super attractive in free agency. He's going to get too much money for the Padres liking, and I just think that Xander Bogaerts, they might be kind of backed in the corner and having to put him back there at least for one more season. I don't think that's their internal preference, but that just kind of might be where they're kind of forced to turn because Ha-Seong Kim, he was really versatile, and kind of a superior defender at shortstop, and now you don't have that right now.
Dennis, I know, by the way, Dennis Lynn joins us here via The Athletic. Dennis, I know you are in the know most of the time. The fact that you did not mention Jackson Merrill's name at all in that kind of back and forth there would lead me to believe that maybe he's not on the table in terms of moving back to shortstop.
Yeah, I would lean probably not.
Okay.
I think all things are on the table with AJ Preller, technically, but yeah, he is just so valuable in center field, and he might be the rookie of the year out there. I think we'll find out pretty shortly here, right, in a few days. But yeah, if they move him back to shortstop, and there's no guarantee he's better there than he was in center field, because arguably he was really good in center field. You have a hole there, back in the outfield to fill, and I think same goes for Fernando Tatis. I think they prefer to keep him in right field. Again, never say never in terms of either of those two guys moving from the outfield to the infield, but that just opens up holes in the outfield. So I just think with Jurickson and Profar, possibly not coming back, and you have the outfield that you want to take care of as well. I don't know how much that's thought, moving one of those guys back there, but as for Jackson Merrill, I think he proved himself to be, a franchise center fielder this past season. I expect that's where he's going to stay for now.
Dennis, what, if any, insight do you have on Mr. Sasaki? I mean, he seems to be kind of the big story right now, the headline guy. Will the Padres get him? Will they not get him? Who's the favorite to get him? I don't think anybody can really know all this, what he's thinking. What do you think could push the Padres over the top if they were the ones to end up with this young guy?
Well, number one, the fact that money's not going to be a huge factor here, or maybe even much of a factor at all, because he's lending himself to a minor league contract. Assuming he gets posted after, I think, December 1st, all 30 teams essentially have money to try to sign him, including the Padres. So that's more promising than say a Kodai Senga last offseason or a couple offseasons ago, or a Yamamoto, where they just didn't have any chance because the money was just going to be out of their range. And this offseason, they really need a guy like that who's going to be making a major league minimum and who could be, a project, but they're going to need arms in the rotation because Joe Musgrove's out for the season, and everyone else is a year older, including Yu Darvish, who, speaking of, has a very good relationship, I understand, with Roki Sasaki. Played with him at the WBC, and Sasaki considers him a mentor. Not that makes him unique, because a lot of these young Japanese star pitchers really look up to Darvish, but if he's looking for, and one of my colleagues at The Athletic, Will Salmon, reported that he's looking for stability, comfort lifestyle, he might be a little more on the reserve side, even for a Japanese player. So if you're going to be playing in LA, which is considered a heavy favorite in the industry right now with the Dodgers, next to Yamamoto and Ohtani, and all the fanfare that comes with that, maybe that's not something that he's quite that jazzed about. But I think, the Padres, especially with Ruben Gable locked down for the next couple of years at least, they offer, a lot of those qualities that he's reportedly looking for. So I think the Padres have a pretty good shot. They seem to feel pretty optimistic that they'll be at least maybe a finalist, if you want to call it that. So we'll just have to wait and see when he gets posted. But I think the Padres should definitely be considered a strong candidate.
Dennis, this has to be one of the few times in AJ's tenure where it seems like all things are at least working in unison. Whether it be his relationship with Mike Schilt, whether it be his relationship with the guys in the clubhouse. He seemingly has kind of found his sweet spot here, especially with Mike Schilt. And I bring that up because you also had an article not too long ago about kind of his, his help while Yu Darvish was going through his situation. It seemed as though AJ Preller was there to be like a kind of an ear, or just willing to help in any way possible. And now these two dudes might come together to actually bring Roki Sasaki to this organization.
Yeah, I thought that was a noteworthy story just to highlight again, recently with, Sasaki being represented by the same agent as Darvish. Not to say that, Joe Wolf, the agent, he works for these players. He's not going to, decide for them. They're going to decide for themselves where they want to go. But yeah, I think that's the credit to AJ. And a lot of times you hear these GMs and agents kind of bicker. I mean, Joe Wolf had kind of had it out with Brian Cashman, I think, about a year or so ago when Cashman was criticizing one of his other clients, John Carlos Stanton, essentially for being, perpetually injured, which you can argue, is kind of accurate, but you don't want to hear that coming from, a GM of a team your client's on. And then Preller, on the other hand, treated Darvish by all accounts very well. And, the agent came out and said, I just wanted to be said that he should be praised for that. And I think we all know AJ, he doesn't do anything without, thinking 5 steps ahead in some cases. So maybe he knew, Sasaki's probably going to come out this offseason or next offseason. And Joel's got a good shot to represent him. So I don't want to, jeopardize any kind of relationship here with Darvish or Joe Wolf. So, maybe AJ was thinking 2 steps ahead. But, Darvish is a guy who just commands a lot of respect. So I think AJ just treated him in this case with the respect that he deserved.
Last thing, Dennis, we appreciate the time as always. Just in general, next couple of years, next few years, Padres should still be good, right? I mean, this is all going to work out in some manner, but however it works out, the Padres should still be pretty good. I mean, I think that's kind of a bottom line that a lot of us want to make sure of.
I think you're banking on, maybe not banking, but you're relying on some things to repeat like they did this past year. And for things not to go as wrong as they did in 2023, because I think if you run the projections and all the models 100 times, that'll come in 2023. Even with all the stuff off the field and all the stuff in the clubhouse, I think the Padres still, generally would have made the playoffs. Again, a lot of things went right in 2024, right? With all these, Jurickson Profar, Jackson Merrill, Michael King, even a Donovan Solano. So you're banking on some of those things happening again. They have to find replacements, of course, for some of those guys. But I think with, Tatis, if he can, stay healthy for a full season, if, Michael King and Dylan Cease, they continue on the tracks that they had in 24, I think the Padres should be pretty good next year. It's just a matter of whether they can get a guy like Sasaki to kind of balance out the pair, or whether they can get, Ethan Salas or Leo DeVries in the next couple of years to come up and be good, pretty much right away, because that's what Jackson Merrill did. And without Jackson Merrill last year, I don't think they make the playoffs. So a lot kind of depends on these young guys that they have in the organization, or, another young guy in Sasaki who they could potentially add to the organization. So I think there's a lot to be decided. But, generally I would expect with all the big contracts they have on the books, they better hope they're good.
no doubt about
Better
that.
hope they're good.
Dennis, get your rest, man. I have a feeling you're going to be quite busy come this next month, man. Appreciate you coming on.
Very good,
some
Dennis.
time with
Thank
us.
you.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Dennis Lynn of The Athletic there on Gwynn and Chris.
I'm a lot more knowledgeable now, Tony, than I was 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, he's always
he was into it.
He's
Good
always
job.
good. I think I don't feel like I don't need to remind everybody of this, but we are talking about baseball. It's like the most difficult sport to predict out of all of the sports that we frequent.
Yeah, because everybody had the Royals in the playoffs this year.
Exactly.
And others.
Detroit, they had that one too, right? I mean, so, you just never know. And as Dennis pointed out, there's a lot that still has to get done between now and whenever the first report date is. And then, quite frankly, there'll be a lot that has to be signed from when the report date is to when the first game of the season is up and popping again.
The reason I feel good about the Padres going forward for the few years, because I don't know how everything's going to get done, but I think a lot will get done because they've committed to so many big-name contracts that they almost have to be good. Like, you can't look at Manny or you can't look at Fernando and say, well, we're not going to surround you with anything now. So that's why I think they're going to be good for a while.
Yeah.
I hope.
The dudes who got paid are going to have to keep producing as they did this past year. So let's get to break. 3 o'clock hour on the other side. Daily Gambit on the way.
We go on Gwynn and Chris. Crisello, Tony Gwynn Jr., Matt, Skraby. Thanks. Big thanks to Dennis Lynn. Really good Padre insight. Getting everybody, I think, out there caught up on the Friars as we head deeper into this offseason. We've got a little NFL football for you tonight. Pretty good game. The former Washington football team taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. A battle for first place in the NFC East. Commanders are 7-3. Jaden Daniels already wrapped up the Rookie of the Year award, probably.
I don't know about that.
Who's in the running with him?
I don't know about that.
I mean, who else you got?
Exactly.
Ricky Pearsall.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
All right. You know, why do I ask you? Tony, who's in the running with him? Anybody?
I don't think anybody that's been doing any damage.
Caleb, Drake May, Bo Nix.
No,
I mean, they've all been much lesser than Jaden Daniels.
Oh, what about Malik Neighbors?
No.
Neighbors.
No, he's gone quiet lately.
He had the concussion.
He
had
quiet
like the
lately.
last 4 games. He disappeared.
The only reason I say no about Jaden Daniels is because he hasn't been. He's not rushing the last maybe.
You're
2
saying
or 3
no?
weeks.
That's only in fantasy though. Like I'm
Yeah,
talking about.
Skraby lives his world in
You
fantasy.
guys don't even let me.
I'm
even
sorry.
Explain.
I'm sorry. Explain, Skrabe. I apologize.
When he doesn't run, it makes passing a lot harder because the defense knows he's going to pass because he's not running.
Why would he not run?
Because he has a rib injury. He doesn't want to get hit.
Jaden Daniels going to be the Rookie of the Year.
I love how Chris is
book
so.
it.
Okay.
Book it, he says. Son.
All right.
No, book it.
I don't
mean,
think
what?
there's anybody that's
Come
going
on.
to be close. I can't even think.
I'm trying to look up
think
other rookies.
I think he could not throw for another yard, and he'd be the Rookie of the Year. He's won 7 games with the Commanders. What else do you need to, on the resume?
There's no I in team, Chris.
7 games. He's the quarterback, though. You know how that goes.
It's going to help his cause. Last night, NBA, we're going to get into some more of it here in the Daily Gambit, but big doings. Giannis had a 59-point game.
59 pieces.
Although he almost blew the game at the end. It's tie score, and he fouled the Detroit Piston guy who was like a 90% free throw shooter, and he almost airballed both free throws. I mean, sorry, but you're in the NBA.
His backside tightened up a little bit.
A little tight on those free throws, so went into overtime, and Giannis took over, 59. Wembayama had a 50.
50 burger.
50, and made 8 threes.
Wait, real quick. Going back to Giannis real quick.
Okay.
Did you watch that game at all?
I didn't watch the game. I saw highlights.
Do you remember a few years back where LeBron hit my man with for the Pistons with an elbow accidentally, and he was leaking and was like chasing LeBron around the arena? Do you guys remember this?
The Detroit Piston guy.
Center.
I somewhat remember this, yes.
So yesterday, Giannis gets the ball in the paint, bodies him, like slams into him, and he kind of spins away and is going. And this guy like yanks him down.
Yes, he did. Grabbed him by the Isaiah Stewart is who you're talking about.
Stewart.
Yeah, he grabbed his jersey as he jumped and pulled him down.
Like in a dangerous way.
Very dangerous. He was ejected from the game.
But
that's the same guy that LeBron
same guy
elbowed.
that was like the whole stadium was having to like restrain from it. It wasn't like LeBron was running, but this dude was bleeding. He just looked like a crazed individual. And I bring it up because clearly when Giannis bodied him and like basically knocked him under the basket, it's like he takes it like on a personal mission at that point.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like he was trying to hurt Giannis on that play.
The guy I'm not trying to make fun of, but a guy who fun must be made of is Ronald Holland II. He's the guy that airballed the free throws. With a chance. All he needed was one
He couldn't get
to
even.
win the game. The other note, LeBron last night, I know you love this, Skraby. Oldest ever to get 3 consecutive triple doubles last night.
I'm blocking Tony. He's putting on his crown.
He is putting his crown on. Lakers beat Memphis. What are you now, 7-3, Tone?
Nah, I wish they were 7-3.
No, not that good.
They're
I thought they were
like-
7-3.
I think they're 7-5.
7-5.
Think
The Lakers. They won.
They
They've
played
been.
12 games?
I think they have
7
played
and 4.
7 and
Excuse
4,
me.
right in between. Okay. All right. Let the rest of the NBA and
7-3 just sounded too good. I
too
knew
good.
that was
Yeah.
it.
Sorry about that. Winners, losers, daily gambit.
Do you like money?
I think about money a lot.
Do you like money without doing anything?
Winning.
Do you want to make money while watching sports?
I think Washington is immortal luck.
Washington! Woohoo!
If you answered yes, this is your segment. Just don't blame us when you lose.
Nothing is ever your fault.
It's your game. Take it.
Gwynn and Chris go through the top bets of the day in The Daily Gambit on 97.3 The Fan.
Daily Gambit is our daily sports betting segment here on Gwynn and Chris. Please, everybody, gamble responsibly. Real quick about LeBron. Did you see J.J. Redick trying to coach him and someone else up? And I think this is a good thing. I think this is a good thing that J.J. Redick is not allowing the small stuff to go just because he's LeBron James. And I don't know how many guys that are close to his age can do that.
I don't think there are any. And
I don't think LeBron was listening to him. I think
the other guy that he was talking, just walked by.
Yeah, he did. He was talking to LeBron and Dalton Connect, the rookie.
Yeah.
They had evidently miscommunicated on a defensive assignment, and then at the other end, LeBron hit a three. Memphis called timeout. LeBron and Connect were walking off, and you see J.J. Redick go up to both of them, but I didn't see LeBron stop and listen. He just saw LeBron.
He turned back.
Well, almost said because the guy was like a nuisance.
A nuisance.
Yeah.
So you can tell Chris isn't a J.J. Redick fan at this point.
It was a nuisance.
I think it was a good.
You think
show
LeBron was
display.
buying it?
I think J.J. is doing a good job.
So far,
right
so
now.
good
Yeah.
for J.J.
Baseball coverage on 97.3 The Fan is presented by T-Mobile. Head to T-Mobile.com and get a great deal on an iPhone 16 Pro. Now, last night we bet on University of San Francisco. They're playing Cal State Long Beach. USF 15-point favorites. I was the only Don in this one. The Dons won 84-54.
Yeah, my
so by
Bobby
30.
Smitheren's club got pounded.
Smithered.
Come on, Bobby.
Yeah. I'm not going to make the
Supported
Harry Potter
you.
joke today.
You guys did not come through.
UConn played Lemoyne last night, the Dolphins, and UConn was a 37.5-point favorite. We all chose UConn, and we win the bet because they won by 51, 90-49.
Yeah, that's 41.
41.
So it was a little closer.
Yeah, it was
actually.
actually.
It was pretty close. Lemoyne hung in there a little.
Yes, they hung in there.
Yeah.
The Knicks were 7.5-point favorites over the Bulls. You guys chose the Bulls. The Bulls ended up winning 124-123.
Yeah.
Scrappy little Bulls.
Scrappy little Bulls.
Winning on the road again.
Yeah, Brunson missed a potential game-winning shot, but he really didn't miss it. Tony, I want you to look at that clip so you give me a...
The ball went three-quarters of the
The ball
way
went
down.
all the way down, then sat on the rim and decided to fall off. I mean, it was... I
When
thought he
is a
made
basket good? When it leaves the bottom of the net?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's got to get through. And this
This
was...
Oh, no,
would
wait,
have
let me
this would
rephrase
have
that.
definitely warranted a hard break.
Yeah, it was a hard
From
break.
Chick-
So
for,
was it like,
Brunson.
it's not like once the ball is below the
Has
rim.
to come through the net.
Well, if it gets all the way below the rim, it's not going to come back out.
Actually,
unless somebody hits it out.
I was about to say, it happened last week. Someone dunked.
Yeah.
Ball hit the head
And
as
then
it was
came
coming
out.
through, and
came
it
back.
bounced out. No bucket.
No hoop. Yeah, it's got to get
That's
all the way
insane.
down.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Scottie Pippen Jr. over under 12.5 points. I was the only one who went under here, and he went over 15 points.
That a boy, Pip.
Cleveland Cavaliers, 11-point favorites over the Sixers. We all chose the Cavs. The Cavs did win 114-106, but they did not win by enough for us to win the bet. Miami of Ohio minus 30.5 on the spread. They played Kent State. We all chose Miami of Ohio, and it was 34-7, so they did not cover.
No, they did not.
The Red Hawks.
Thanks, Red
The
Hawks.
pesky golden flashes hung around.
Yeah, the pesky
To only lose by
0-10 golden
27.
flashes.
Right, only lost by 27.
And then I think the last one was which team is going to score more goals, the Kings or the Ducks?
Correct.
And we, Chris was the only one choosing the Ducks. They both scored 2, so we pushed.
We'll push. Advantage, push.
I have one bet that I found very interesting, and it's Anthony Richardson back at starting quarterback for the Colts.
Okay.
Over under 177.5 passing yards at the Jets.
Why do you find this interesting?
Because I have no idea what he's going to do. And my inclination is to go under.
Why?
But I wanted to, because I just don't, I mean, he's not throwing the ball well right now.
He hasn't thrown well. He's got I mean, throw a couple deep ones to Alec Pierce. The Jets' secondary has not been healthy.
No.
Along with every other problem they have.
Yes. Would you go over under them?
No, I'd go under. The number I have here is 172.5, so it's even much lower.
Down.
Yeah. I would wonder what his rushing yards are. He's got to run. Like, what you said about Jaden Daniels, I think is the same for Richardson. At this point in his career, he's got to run.
I agree.
Because I don't think he can't beat you with just his arm.
He needs to figure out how to slide, though. Because he goes full bore into these.
Well, why worry about that? I mean, Tua makes tackles with his head.
He does make tackles with his head. Tony, what would you do here?
Richardson rushing yards, or passing yards.
Yeah, passing yards. 177.5 we're going to go with.
I'd go with passing yards.
You go over?
Yeah, I'd go over.
All right.
We'll keep an eye on it.
Yes, we'll keep an eye on
All right,
it.
here's what we got.
Oh, sorry.
Go
There
ahead.
are odds on Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, but I can't believe that they're actually
Let's
odds
go,
on
Mike.
this. This is not like a real fight.
Everybody's betting on Tyson. Is that from what I'm reading, the bet
He's the underdog.
It's swinging way to Tyson. Now, is this because they think Tyson's going to win or they don't like Jake Paul?
Both.
Okay.
Jake Paul's minus 200 on the money line. Mike Tyson plus 160.
But here's the funny thing. Mike Tyson, when he was a champ, was pretty well disliked by everyone.
Yeah. And
now that he's 70 years old or whatever he is, he's become kind of the darling of this fight.
He's definitely softened a little bit in his old age.
58, yeah.
I'm 58 to his 27, I believe.
I'm rooting for Tyson. I know somebody asked Jake Paul when he was going to fight somebody that was any good. Jake Paul said the guy was an idiot for asking the question, and how can you diss Mike Tyson like that?
I mean, listen, Jake Paul is a genius when it comes to promoting these fights and getting people to buy it.
He's making money.
He said it. I mean,
and he doesn't really have to put himself in danger because he's not fighting any of the top contenders.
No, he's not fighting any of the top contenders. And other funny thing is, as he continues to do, he basically told everybody his gig when he was at the press conference. He said, "I spent the first half of my adult life, not even first few years of my adult life, trying to do positive things and, do something good in the world, and people hated me. Now, I decided to be the heel, and everybody is tuning in and, basically feeding my pockets. So,
following everything I do.
There you go.
All right, tonight we got the football game. Let's do it. Philadelphia -4 at Washington. Chris goes first.
Oh, it's at Washington?
Sorry, at Philadelphia.
Okay.
Thank you. At Philadelphia, -4, Washington. I'm going to take Washington plus the points. I think they have a chance to win. I like the points. Close game. Tony, by the way, you're in the lead. 8-6. Skraby and I are 6-8.
Give me Philly.
You want Philly -4? Scrape?
I got to say, the Eagles scare me. I think
scare you now.
They're playing some great football right now. Jalen Hurts is playing some great football right now. I think
on a roll.
Philly wins by
Nick
a touchdown.
Sirianni's a genius again. He goes from genius to dumber than dirt.
I never said that.
Smart again.
He started as dumb as
right,
dirt.
Right, dumb to smart,
went to genius,
dumb to smart.
Back to dumb. Now he's smart again.
Smart again. 49.5 points over under, Tony, for this game. 49.5. Under defensive struggle, Tony says. Skraby?
Well, Philly has one of the worst passing defenses in the league.
Okay.
I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. Over.
High scoring, you say? I'm going to go over just because I like a high-scoring game. It's more fun. Who rushes for more yards? Saquon Barkley versus Brian Robinson plus Austin Eckler.
Wait, run that back again?
You get both Redskin running backs, Robinson and Eckler.
Commander running backs?
Commander, right. I just did that. Robinson and Eckler versus Barkley. Robinson, because he's been hurt, he's probably going to be used a little more sparingly tonight.
He is playing, though?
I believe he's playing. Yes, he's been listed as in.
Wow.
Skraby's first. Who do you like, Barkley or the other guys?
Austin Eckler is sneaky good.
Sneaky?
But Saquon is too good. I'm going Saquon.
Going Saquon. I'll say Robinson and Eckler just for fun. Tony?
Give me quads.
Mr. Quads. I'm writing that down. Quads.
Mr. Quads.
Who attempts more passes? I think this is a kind of an interesting one tonight. Who attempts more passes? Jaden Daniels or Jalen Hurts? They both run around a lot. Who's going to throw more? Tony's first, I think. I don't know. I lose track.
Hurts.
Hurts throws.
Hurts is top 5 quarterback right now in the league.
Yes, he is. Skraby. Who attempts more passes?
I feel like the Commanders are going to be coming from behind, so Jaden Daniels.
Daniels, he says. I say Daniels. I agree with you. The only NBA game tonight, Dallas at Utah. 8.5 points. Dallas is favored. Skraby.
The Jazz are pretty bad, right?
They've been bad, but I think they've won 3 games recently to, just improve a little bit.
I'll go with Utah then.
Yeah, boy. Take the points. It's a lot of points. I'm not taking them. I'll take Dallas. Tony?
I'm not taking them either. Give me Dallas.
I thought this was an interesting college basketball game tonight. At Arizona State, Grand Canyon is favored by 5.5. This Grand Canyon squad is really good. Beat the Aztecs last year. Arizona State just played Gonzaga fairly tough, and Arizona State's at home. But Grand Canyon's favored by 5.5. I'll take Arizona State, but I'm worried. Tony?
Dang, Grand Canyon's up 5.5. They give them 5.
Of course, Grand Canyon's a Phoenix area school as well, so it's kind of a
they're right
crosstown
right across
rivalry here, as they say.
Give me Canyon. Give me
GC.
GCU.
Are they the Antelopes?
They are the Antelopes.
Very good against the Sun Devils, the Little Devils.
Ooh, the Sun might get the best of the Antelopes.
I might have to spend more time down there in the coming future than I may want to.
We might have a little breaking story here.
News over
Do we have a breaking news sounder coming up?
Yet.
Are you moving to Arizona?
No, I'm definitely not moving to AZ.
Grand Canyon.
Grand Canyon, says Skraby. Finally, the NHL. This is, I'll tell you who has no respect at all for the Winnipeg Jets and their 15-1 record. The odds makers.
No, they keep.
Once again, Tampa Bay is -1.5 over a team that is 15-1.
No respect. I get no respect.
Nothing. Tony, who do you like? Winnipeg.
I'm going back to the Winnipeg.
Stay with the Jets.
The Winnipeg
Jets. Skraby, Tampa Bay is at home, but they're favored by 1.5.
How is Tampa doing this year?
7-6-1. So they're about 500. Winnipeg's got the best record in the history of the sport.
I think the Jets are listening to the show and they just got motivated by what we said. So I'm going to say Jets.
Jets. I got to stay with the Jets too. They deserve it. Okay, that's it, Skraby. We're running late. Timeout. Traffic. More Gwynn and Chris coming up.
Oh gosh, I need to delete. You gave me no time. Okay, there we go.
From the 97.3 The
segment. Listen to Inside San Diego Baseball with Sam Levitt. Wednesdays from 9 to 7 p.m. right here on 97.3 The Fan and on our YouTube page. Sam will talk all things Padre baseball and keep you up to date on the latest hot stove rumors.
I don't like to point things out because I make mistakes. But you honestly, without knowing it, there said that his show is on from 9 to 7 p.m.
Did my dyslexia come
Your
up?
dyslexia came through.
I was looking at something else.
Excuse me, 7 to 9.
7 to 9, yes. If your world runs backwards, the show is for you.
You can't go 9 to 7.
9 to 7
Well,
p.m.
no, he could go 9 p.m. to 7 a.m.
Or he could go 9 to 7 and just be 22-hour show.
That's fine.
Which would be interesting.
I think you would love that.
That'd be a strong play right there.
Right.
Nonetheless, yes, you can catch Sam on Inside San Diego Baseball. It came on after the Skraby Chronicles last night, so got a little dosage of it. All right, real quick. Tomorrow, I am treating these two gentlemen to a nice round of golf. Yes, the San Diego State Baseball Alumni Golf Tournament is tomorrow. I haven't been in a couple years. I need to go to support the program. And we've been talking about playing golf together for
7 years.
We've never done it.
Something along those lines. Tomorrow's going to be the day.
Tomorrow we're going to play. Yeah.
That means a lot of fun for us. We will not be here for you guys tomorrow, though.
Yes, we
However,
apologize for
we
that.
do have a plan.
What is our plan, Skraby?
If you miss the morning show tomorrow, don't
Ben and
worry.
Woods?
Ben and Woods are going to be, the morning show is going to be played during our time slot. So if you miss anything from the morning, you'll be able to hear it on your drive home.
I'm looking forward to listening to Ben and Woods on my drive home after golf.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's perfect timing. We're never in the car on a weekday during our time slot.
We don't wake up early enough to hear Ben and Woods often.
I mean, Chris, you wake up at 4:38 in the morning.
Glad I go back to sleep before the show starts.
Oh my goodness!
Are you still swimming your laps right now?
Yeah, I swim. That's actually my swimming time during their show. I usually go swimming about between 5:30 and 6.
They have waterproof headphones. You could be listening while you're
True
swimming.
that, but by the time I figured out how to use those, I could be done.
He won't be swimming.
Fair enough.
Just no reason to try and figure all that out.
So thanks to Adam for letting this happen.
Yeah, no. Shout out to Adam Klug.
Thanks,
we give Adam a hard time, but he certainly is willing to let us do things like that. We're very appreciative.
We'll have some fun tomorrow. Look forward to seeing.
Probably have some stories and some videos for you, too.
I know you're a lot of you guys from your team and the alumni back when you played will be there. The real question is, will anybody venture out there from my days as a player?
That is a good question.
It'd be fun to see some of those guys if I'm lucky enough.
A couple of my San Diego State teammates, Royce Ring, Marcos Mendoza, in particular, I know I will be there. Steven Strasburg will be there as well. So he's the one actually kind of spearheading this whole thing. Steven has retired from baseball and is like all in on getting this program up and going
donated
the way
a
it's
lot
supposed
of money to it.
Yeah, he's doing his thing.
When he was in here,
shout out to Steven.
He had it all, like talking to us in the breaks. He had it all figured out.
He's
he had his
extremely
research
passionate
done.
about it, man. And so it's a good ally to have on your side if you're a San Diego State Aztecs baseball program. So.
Yes, I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Thank you, Tony, for inviting us, and we will have some fun. You guys will have some fun with Ben and Woods. You can hear what you've been missing all this time if you're not up in the mornings.
Okay, real quick, I do think we should delve into this a little bit. I don't know if you folks out there are familiar with the lawsuit that's happening in college in JUCO for a former JUCO player. Skraby, you're looking at me. Do you not want to talk about this right now?
It's in the Big Five, but if you would like to.
Oh, you put it in 315, sucker.
No, I didn't. Oh, I put the... Okay, I'm looking at... I know what you're looking at. The conversation...
Where it says at 3:15 to talk about this? Is that what he's looking
at? He's got my quote in there right there.
Yes, because... Okay, I see what you're saying.
I'll set it up for later. I realized today in our conversation about this story that I am not by choice moving to the old man lawn territory. I am being forced into this box. And I think I am not the only one from my generation that is being pushed into the old man box. I don't want to go.
I jumped in with both feet, so I'm already in that box. But I know what Tony's saying because when we were complaining about this in the back studio, both of us stopped and were like, we sound so lame right now because we're criticizing.
Old.
Oh, yeah, we sound old. It's an interesting story that's in the Big Five, though.
We're going to get to it. As a matter of fact, in the next segment, we got a Big Five coming up. A young man is suing the NCAA for 2 more years. And you probably say, all right, this isn't the first time that's happened. Well, we'll get into the story. It's actually a lot more simple. It's actually pretty simple when it boils down to. We'll get into it on the other side. More Gwynn and Chris.
Fun. All right, welcome back to Gwynn and Chris. 3:36 the time. Big Five coming up in a moment. Shorter program today because we got Thursday night football. Eagles, Commanders. Good one for you to kick off the week. Sunday, you've got Steelers, Ravens. You've got Bills, Chiefs. A lot of people are saying this is the week the Chiefs go down. They're not an impressive 9-0, right? They've been kind of squeaking by quite often.
I mean, they relied on a block kick.
Patrick Mahomes seems to make one play every game that wins the game. And we'll see, if he can do it again in Buffalo, as they did in the playoffs last year. Tyreek Hill today said that doctors around him have said that he ought to consider surgery that would knock him out for the season, wrist surgery.
He said, I'm playing.
But he says he's playing. You know what, Tyreek? Good on you, but how dumb are you to catch a touchdown the other night and then do a high arm interlocking body slam with Odell Beckham Jr. when you need wrist surgery?
That's why people don't believe it's true. He's just making the conspiracies. He's making excuses as to why he's
having such a bad year.
Yes,
I don't. Even if he's got to have wrist surgery, like I said yesterday, he's still so fast, he should still be able to at least get open. He hasn't been open this year.
That is true about the celebration.
But that celebration made no sense if you're really... Anyway, just thought I'd point that out. All right, Skrabe, we got Big Five, which means we can get to this whole issue of the player suing the NCAA.
That is correct.
All right, let's go.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Drafty Oil Change, your trusted instant drafty oil change. Got a few problems out here, guys. One of them is this collision on the northbound 5 before Carmel Valley Road. Does not appear to be blocking lanes. Then up ahead near the racetrack, another crash involving several vehicles. That's all over the right shoulder. Southbound side of the 5 coastline before Loma Santa Fe. Tow truck is helping to clear an accident involving car and a semi. Everything is over to the right shoulder. Southbound side of the 5 before the 163, we have reports of a collision involving a couple vehicles. Tow truck helping to clear that. It's over the right shoulder. And eastbound 8, Cordell and Cordell traffic cam shows stalled car in middle lanes right before College. Stop by any of the 30 San Diego Valvoline Instant Oil Change Centers. You don't have to get out of your car. It usually only takes 15 minutes or less. Plus, get a free courtesy check of your tires and battery. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for directions and discounts. SoCalOilChange.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's that time of the show when we check on the latest in sports. Only the most important topics and questions are brought to light.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
These news stories will astound and amaze you. The one, the only.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
The Big Five starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
If you love Mediterranean food, try Spiro's for authentic Mediterranean cuisine in Coronado or La Jolla. For dining or takeout options, visit spiroscuisine.com. And we were talking about bets a little bit earlier.
Number 5.
And so I was looking at some of the MLB free agent odds, and I was surprised that the Padres were in on some of the names that are out there. So among free agents that I was looking at, the Padres have odds to sign Blake Snell at plus 550. Now, I haven't even heard the Padres being attached to Corbin Burns, but he's plus 750. Max Fried plus 800, and Pete Alonso plus 1,000. So, Tony, you're up first. Out of those odds, which bet would you make?
None of them.
None of them?
None of them.
You're not betting?
I'm not betting. I mean, this is a truly. I'm just donating money at this point, and I could find a nice charity that I can give.
He'd rather
my money
take us play golf tomorrow, Skraby.
Exactly.
I approve this
because none of those guys are likely to show up here in San Diego. Maybe Blake because there's a past relation, but even he seems like he's going to be priced out of. What we just heard from Dennis Lynn.
I think he said Snell. They're saying he's 9 figures.
Yeah, that's not belt tightening.
Are we talking hundreds of millions or 100
for
plus?
5-6 years or whatever that
He was looking to get $200 last year. He didn't get it. He's probably in line to get somewhere close to that this year. I think that price is
no-hitter last
Burns
year.
is probably going to get over that. He's probably going to get the most.
I don't see it
Alonzo's going to get paid. Like, all those dudes you named are not like. So I'm going to keep my money in my pocket on this one, sir.
You are allowed because you're taking me to golf. Chris, who would you bet on?
If I had to bet, you twist my arm.
I'm twisting your arm.
Max Fried.
Okay.
But I don't see any of them.
Oh, I didn't hear Max. I missed
Max
that
Fried
one.
plus 800.
That's who I would go with then.
I've never even heard them being involved with Corbin Burns or Pete Alonso.
Well, I haven't heard them involved with anybody. We're just
Right.
the ones
No,
that bring it up and say
it
that
is
Blake
November
Snell
14.
is on the horizon. Well, who said that AJ Preller's called him?
I'm trying to think if you did.
I can't
We
remember.
just keep kind of saying
I can't
that
remember my man's name who said that he talked to Blake.
Oh, JT Rogan.
there you go.
JT Rogan, yeah.
Oh.
He said he wants to play in San Diego, Blake Snell.
Wants to and can be paid to are two entirely different things.
That's true.
Number 4.
Could Dion and Shador Sanders pull an Archie and Eli Manning? Possibly, guys. Here is Keyshawn Johnson talking to Coach Prime during their show Speak Live. They're also with Paul Pierce, and they are also with Michael Irvin. So here is Keyshawn Johnson.
You know, Prime, he's probably going to be 1 or 2 top quarterback off the board if they know anything, right? And that organization may be 1, 2, 3, 4. Will you step in Eli Manning like, Deion Sanders like, to the point where, like, you told him, hey, man, I ain't taking that psych test with the Giants. I followed you after that. I said I wasn't taking it either. Will you step in and do some of that if it's the wrong organization and say he ain't going there?
Yeah, but I'm not going to do it publicly. I'll do it privately.
Yeah. Okay.
So you said you're going to be dad. You're going to be dad. You're going to be dad.
Hey, I'm dad. The cows come home. Yes, sir. And with Travis as well.
Oh, yeah. I keep forgetting that shit. I keep forgetting.
All right, so he said he's going to be dad. He does not want Shador going to a bad team. He does not want Travis Hunter going to a bad team, so he might be talking with NFL teams, is what the rest of the conversation was about. But, Chris, would this be a good thing for Shador and Travis Hunter?
In the long run, it all worked out pretty well for Eli Manning.
Yes, it did.
And it worked out fine for Phillip Rivers, too. I know the Charger fans would think differently, but I guess it'd be good for him. I'm not a fan of it, obviously. I'd like to let the process work out,
sure.
but I don't expect Deion's going to follow the process. He hasn't done it yet on anything he's done in his life, so why start now? But as I said earlier, what if Deion, what Jerry Jones, I mean, he's not that dumb, is he? I mean, if Deion gets his Colorado to the playoff this year, how could Jerry go wrong than bring Deion in to try to turn the Cowboys
Forgive me if I'm
around?
wrong, but Deion has said he would never coach in the NFL.
Well, Deion says a lot of things.
He does, but he seemed pretty convinced of this one.
I don't know that Deion's ever really lied about those type of things. I as much as I hear Chris isn't the first person. This has been up on ESPN like the last 2 weeks about the Cowboys reaching out. Now, I saw a report today that Cowboys basically said there's been no conversation at all.
Never is. There never is until the guy signs up.
And I actually am with you, Skraby, on this. I believe Deion when he says he does not want to coach in the NFL. He made the point earlier this season, a child follows their parents, not the other way around. Parents don't follow the child. So when he gets drafted, in other words, he's not going to pack up and follow Shador wherever he goes.
Yeah.
That being said, to your original question, I'm not a fan of this. And it was a big topic out here, obviously, when Eli Manning kind of stiff-armed the Chargers on this one.
I can't even imagine what that topic was like in sports radio back then.
I can't.
Just being in sports radio.
That probably gave him enough to talk about for like 2 weeks on that.
And Eli
months.
And Eli was booed.
He was
every time. He only came here a couple of times, but like 7-8 years later, man, the fans let him have it.
Crushed him.
Yeah.
But like Chris said, in the end, it worked out. And so I would expect, if it's the wrong team. Now, here's the thing. He said he would do it private. He probably would do it private, as did, I would say, the Mannings did. But a team is certainly going to use that to their advantage and leak it out and try to put the pressure on you. That's how that would work. So even if he does do it privately, we are going to know.
I don't get why sometimes people think that they're different from the rest. Like, for some reason, they think that they're so good that they don't have to do what everybody else has done before. All big-name players have been drafted to the team that falls to them.
At the end of the day, the team who's drafting ultimately can not acquiesce.
That's true.
And do what is being asked.
No,
they could take them and say...
Well, the Chargers didn't acquiesce. They drafted Eli Manning.
But then they traded him, right?
I understand, but they picked him and then realized that the Mannings weren't bluffing.
Right.
Whatever happened... Ugh, this is not time for me.
There's
There's
a picture somewhere of Eli holding up a Charger jersey. I mean, Jeffrey was the number one pick.
Yeah, John Elway did the same thing.
Yeah, John Elway orchestrated a move from the Colts to the Broncos. He was drafted by the Colts.
So to answer your question is, there are certain people who are good enough that they can change the rules a little bit. Or at least bend them to their favor.
Okay. If Caleb Williams has to go to the Bears, then Shador has to go to the New York Giants or whatever.
Remember that conversation, him going back to school to avoid going to whatever team? Was it the Bears last year too?
No, the year before that. I don't even remember. I don't know.
Skraby,
anyway.
I wish I had the ability to post stuff like you do on our page, the StreamYard.
Chris wants to post the most random stuff.
No, I want to put the picture of Manning holding up a Charger jersey. I think it's pretty hilarious
he looks so
picture.
Sad.
He does not look happy.
So sad.
He does not look happy doing it. It's pretty funny.
Tweet it out. Go to @ChrisLOSD.
Not
See,
that serious.
he wants me to do it, but he won't do it.
Because you can do it with a flick of your wrist. It would take
Come
me.
on, man.
I got to get the StreamYard back up. I have to.
I'd be working on it until halftime of the NFL game.
The show would be over.
Yeah.
Oh, the Panthers were the number one pick.
Right. You remember that voiding all of that?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's only certain guys who can get away with it.
I don't think Shador's one of them, but
Number 3.
He may not have to be.
Another unintended effect of NIL money being given out in colleges. Some of these players are using this time as an opportunity to earn money quick and earn money before they're ineligible. Now the NCAA has a lawsuit on their hands because Vanderbilt quarterback Diego Pavia is suing the NCAA over its rules limiting the eligibility of former junior college players after transferring to a Division I school. He believes the NCAA's rules are quote-unquote unjustifiably, or unjustifiable in that term. Let me start this over.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
He believes the NCAA rules unjustifiably restrain athletes' abilities to earn money under name, image, and likeness rules.
So it was right.
Yes. The lawsuit filed today asked for a temporary restraining order, with Pavia asking for 2 more seasons of eligibility through 2026 and 27 to allow for a redshirt season, quote, to avoid additional harm, the harm being not able to make money anymore.
So basically he wants the 2 years back that he spent at the JUCO?
He wants the 2 years back that he spent at the JUCO so that he can make more money in college, because I don't know that he thinks he's going to be an NFL quarterback. So this is his way of making money right now. Tony, does he have a case?
So we went to break, and I told you guys that there are certain things that are pushing me into the get off my lawn
Yes,
territory.
this is it.
This is it. Part of the reason why, and Chris, you can attest to this. Skraby, you can attest to this. Part of the reason why an athlete would go to a JUCO is there's 2 reasons. Either he or she doesn't have the grades, and they have to go there to get their grades up in order to have a chance to play college sports, or they want to develop as the athlete because they're not quite good enough to play collegiate sports.
True.
Right now.
Right.
So you go to a JUCO. Sometimes it's 1 year, sometimes it's 2. You shouldn't be able to get those years back now because you've developed well enough to now be good enough to play college sports.
It's true.
To ask for those 2 years back is mind-blowing to me. And maybe it's because I only grown up in the system that we had before. But it seems a little outrageous to me that you would now get 2 years back that you use to actually get to this point and get better so that you can make some money. And I'm all for people making money. You know, I want everybody to get a bag, but you got to actually put yourself in position to earn that bag. You have now done that, I assume.
Yeah, he's a Vanderbilt quarterback.
You got 2 years remaining, but you want 2 more because you want to make some more money in college because, as you said, he's likely not a pro prospect. I think that's whack. And those are the type of situations that start to push this 42-year-old young man into the get off my lawn.
Come on, Tony. There's plenty of room.
Chris has a nice chair for you, and he's got some lemonade.
I'm not ready to go, though. I don't want to go. But these type of deals are pushing me.
The view is lovely from here.
Gosh.
Do I even ask Chris if he has a case?
Get out of my court. Get out.
This goes back to kind of Shador, though. It's like, I don't want people to be sheep, but I also don't want people to think that they can just rewrite everything because they feel like they should make more money.
First of all, he hasn't done it yet.
Yeah,
and
true.
he may not need to. So let's leave Shador out of his and
right,
focus on the
Shador.
Vanderbilt guy who
I
we're
agree.
talking about.
I agree. You can't just ask for 2 years
That's
back.
crazy to me.
That is.
I'm trying to think of a work equivalent to that.
Me too. I can't think of one. I can't think of one.
Like, you start at the ground level and you had to spend the first 2 years kind of working your way up. You get there, now you get paid. You're like, I am going to need back pay for those 2 years that you guys developed me to get to this
And while
point.
you're at it, pay me for the 2 years I was working at an office down the street as well.
And while you're at it,
because I really could have been on the air.
I could have been.
Could have been on the air if you would have let me.
And while you're at it, pay me for the unpaid internship I did at another radio company.
There you go.
That's how we do it, guys.
Crazy.
Former NFL coach John Gruden is back, everybody. Kind of. He isn't back to coaching, but he is back behind a microphone. Barstool Sports announced they hired him, I guess, to be an NFL analyst for their organization. Chris, you're up first on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being you don't care, and 10 being you love this so much. How much do you care?
Well, I care, but I don't like it at all, and I'll tell you why. Because Barstool Sports was in charge of the Arizona Bowl. Is that the one they run? And they put a broadcast together last year with their own Barstool Sports broadcasters.
Dak Prescott.
No, I'm sorry, Skraby. This was so bad and so embarrassing for anybody that's ever studied to be an announcer to have to listen to these morons try to broadcast a football game. And so now they're going to, include Gruden. I love Gruden. I love him on the air. Well, I don't love him. I love him on the air. But the Barstool thing lost me. So I say -2.
Wow.
Overall.
All right, Tony, how much do you care about this?
Not much, only because it's for a publication that I don't necessarily watch their content.
Yeah,
you know, if I like listening to Chucky, if you will, in terms of football, he definitely knows his stuff. You definitely feel like you're learning something when he's talking. I just don't know if I'll get a chance to learn it because I don't really listen to Barstool that much.
Yeah, your algorithm only gives you puppies.
Yeah, right.
All you see is puppies.
I don't get that very often.
All right, last one real quick.
Number 1.
I was listening to Annie and Elston earlier, and they were talking about video games, and Braden actually challenged Craig to play Fortnite online, and I thought about a challenge, and I want to extend the challenge right now. Craig against Chris in 3 innings of MLB The Show. Tony, who would win that game?
If Craig even knows how to operate the game, he would win the game. I've never even played it
No, I
before.
don't think Craig has much experience with video games. That's why the challenge was put forth.
I think I would give the nod to Craig only because Chris would spend
You don't
about
think
5
Chris can hit the X button to swing the bat?
He would be discouraged.
Yes, but then I wouldn't be able to run to first base.
He would be
even know how to
discouraged.
run.
Trigger, baby.
He wouldn't do it.
Gotta go R1.
Anything
or L1, sorry.
Anything newer than Donkey Kong or Pac-Man is beyond my grasp. I'm sorry.
By the way, those two games came with the system for free when you got it. The Atari system.
Of course, yeah, back in the day.
All right, that's it for. Can we do this, Chris? Can I set this up? Can I get this moving? Can I get this working?
Get what?
The video game challenge.
No, I'm not gonna. I have no interest.
I told you, dog. More Gwynn and Chris on the other side. into the 4 o'clock hour. Only about 30 minutes remaining in this show. We got a Chris versus the fans headed your way. let me go ahead and start. It's 4 o'clock on the dot. Let me get started on your prize. It's a long-winded prize, so I'll start reading it now. You will be qualified for a chance to win our grand prize, a 2-night stay at Westgate, Las Vegas, 2 tickets to Soul of Motown, and a $150 food and beverage credit. The Westgate Las Vegas Resort Casino features newly designed premier rooms, part of their $70 million room renovation. Home of legendary Vegas Fun, the award-winning Soul of Motown is a high-energy concert-style musical tribute celebrating Motown legends. This is a must-see show during your Las Vegas vacation. Getaway tickets at westgateresorts.com. Woo!
Nice job.
Thank you.
And after all the rules, our first question is, can you come back tomorrow? Because that took too much time.
Okay. Skraby, lines filled up?
Oh, I need to put people on hold, actually.
That means no. Correct?
Correct.
He's got people on
having issues.
Whoops, I'm putting him on the air on accident.
Oh, here we go.
Clicking the wrong button, everybody.
Let's stop clicking the wrong button.
Well, this is just great, everybody. All right, yeah.
You ready?
Yes, we're ready.
Chris versus the fans.
If you had one shot, one opportunity to take down the human almanac himself,
howdy do.
Now is your time.
Listen to me, this guy is dangerous.
Now is your opportunity to win a prize.
Well, I hope you know what you're in for.
Chris versus the fans starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, the rules, you have to make it through 3 questions. Each question will get more difficult. If you get the question right, you move on. If you get it wrong and Chris gets it right, you are eliminated. But if Chris gets it wrong, then you move on to the next question or you win. If you're a first-time player...
I love when you guys are laughing and I don't know what's happening.
Just let us know you're a first-time player, and you'll get that question for free today, and you'll start on question number 2. Chris vs. the Fans is presented by SD Fat Loss. Lose 20 to 30 pounds in just 60 days. Visit SDFatLoss.com to schedule your free
Minding my own
consultation.
business.
I'm sorry. I was laughing because as he was reading, you were breathing, and you could tell it was messing him up.
Oh, too bad.
Why don't you read something, Chris?
All right.
Well, you gonna breathe? Sorry. Hate to be alive.
Let's get to our first contestant.
Oh, yes. That was fun.
I'm gonna turn blue over here now.
Chris hates us.
Can't breathe.
He's gonna stop breathing. All right. First,
Kyle.
Who's our first? Kyle, welcome to the show. Happy Thursday.
Hello, Kyle.
Hello.
Hi, Kyle.
You're on the air, sir. You ready to play?
Hopefully it's time for redemption.
Redemption.
Looking for some redemption. Here we go. First question. There is only one undefeated team in the NFL. Who is it?
Kansas City Chiefs.
Indeed it is. Question number 2. Jamar Chase leads the NFL in receiving touchdowns. 2 others are tied for second with 7. One's a tight end and one a wide receiver. Name both. Both.
This is a 2-pointer?
Both of them.
I gave you the positions.
Yeah, you did, but still.
BOFEM.
Wide receiver.
Leading in touchdowns. Why receiving touchdowns?
Okay.
Receiving
No
touchdowns.
clue, you said?
No, sorry.
No, that's
I'm
okay.
just kind of reading to myself.
I see.
What the question was. Tight end.
Just say you don't know. I think that's in your best interest.
Yeah, don't guess anybody and be wrong.
Well, Travis Kelce, which I know is probably not it, and Justin Jefferson.
I like that you attempted. I really do.
Stay there.
7 touchdowns. Man. I would try. I really don't know. Those were the 2 I would have probably guessed. So I'm searching. Who's a good touchdown tight end this year? I don't know. Just give me the buzzer.
I'm just going to put you out of your misery.
Thank you.
The answer, George Kittle.
Oh, I should have
and
known.
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
The only shocker here is that they're not both 49ers. I don't know why
true.
I didn't guess that.
Hey, I didn't choose that because they're 49ers.
Yes, you
They are
did.
second in the NFL.
Yeah, you did.
On to the third.
You're still alive, Kyle.
You still with us, Tony?
Yes,
we're here.
I am. The Silver Slugger Award was established all the way back in 1980.
If I could turn back.
Who was the first Padres player to earn one?
Ever to win one.
19.
I'm gonna go with senior.
It's going Tony Gwynn Sr.
What? I know. Every record is your dad's record, but not this one.
Elo for the steal.
1980.
Established.
Yeah. How about, boy, they would have had to wait 7 years if this is correct, but I'll try Benito San Diego.
Incorrect.
Kyle, a win for you.
Stay right there,
Nice
Kyle.
work,
We're
Kyle.
going to get you in the
Are you going to
break.
give him his round of applause, man?
Oh,
Come
yes.
on,
yes.
now.
He definitely deserves a round of applause.
Nice
This was an
work,
AJ
Kyle.
Cassaville newsletter question.
Nice work, Kyle.
Good question, AJ Cassaville.
The answer, fondly known as TK, Terry Kennedy.
83?
It had to be 80,
Or 84?
81, 82, 83.
I guess. Terry Kennedy, I'd have never come up with that. Very good one, AJ Cassaville.
Kyle, hang on the line. Mr. Skraby.
I remember TK, but I wouldn't have guessed he won
Yeah,
a
I'll
silver
get you, Kyle,
slugger.
when we go to break. I
That's good.
told Tony erroneously that Chris has been kicking butt in this game, so it would take the full segment, and now
Now we
it
got
didn't.
5 minutes to kill, buddy.
Yes.
You never know
we
what's going to
do.
happen. Did you guys hear about this this new basketball player? He's at the University of Florida. His name is Oliver Ryu.
7'9"er?
He's 7'9".
It's crazy.
He's a freshman. Florida coach Todd Golden. There's another story, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
My goodness, what a mess he is. We can get into that in a second.
Is it just in college basketball that they allow the coach to continue?
I don't get it. How do you let this guy continue to coach if you're the school?
It's.
I don't get it.
It goes back to my man who was at Arizona. For a
Whether
while,
or not
Miller.
he's innocent,
Right.
100% innocent. The charges against Todd Golden are so messy.
You would
I
think there
mean,
would
the
be
guy
some
is
type
accused of spying on people, sending naked photos of his privates to
What?
girls.
I did not hear any
You
of
haven't
this.
heard
my
this?
No,
goodness,
not any of
it's
it.
so
he just
ugly.
coached his first game like 2 days
And he's
ago.
coaching while they figure it out. I'm like, really?
Is it Golden?
Todd Golden.
Golden, yeah.
Like, I really don't get it. I mean, can't they just get the assistant do it for a while until the guy gets through this?
It was
this guy?
It was
It's
Miller. It was
awful.
Miller in Arizona. They let go through all that.
Sean Miller.
You had Patino got to keep going while he was going.
Patino, who has basically admitted to having sex with every person in the history of the city of Louisville. I mean, it's just, I don't get it. This is such a bad look. I can't even stand it. Is there some sort of law thing or whatever that I'm not thinking of that protects Todd Golden and gets him to keep his job while they're looking into this?
I don't know if it's a law thing, but there's certainly something there that is allowing it. You can make the argument that maybe, just maybe, to a lot of folks, it's not a bad look. Because it used to be schools were threatened by bad looks and wouldn't go that route because of the optics of it.
Well, I don't know. I think if my coaches, if my favorite team's coach was charged with, sending naked pictures and stalking people, I mean, it's pretty serious stuff that I don't think it even goes beyond a nasty nature. It goes into a scary nature if you think somebody's stalking you.
It's important.
And it's many different women that have come out. I mean, not one, not two, like 10, 12. I don't get why you keep the guy coaching.
We do live in a country where you are presumed innocent.
I get that.
Until
I know,
proven guilty.
but it's also my school, and I don't want your name out there representing it right now.
That's what you would think, right? The optics of it would at least have us say, let's put you on some type of paid leave right now, right? You know, but
yes, administrative leave. Here's your money. Go sit over there and stay on the corner.
out of sight, out of mind.
Out of sight. Oliver Ryu, though, is the 7'9" freshman, and I bring up Todd Golden. This guy's been redshirted, the 7'9" freshman, and there's a whole story about this. This was written today with about 20 quotes from Todd Golden, talking as if nothing's going on at all. Well, I should have done this, and I'm glad he's going to redshirt, and I think he handled it well. And like, how can you even interview Todd Golden without asking him, excuse me, are you really that much of a slime ball?
Maybe the school is like, hey, we're not going to allow you to ask any questions because it's an ongoing investigation. So that's
he probably can't answer questions because it is an ongoing investigation.
Todd Golden, for his side of the story, he's 39 years old. He said, just wait let's let the process play out. That's what he's asking people. So
it just,
The other big story.
That's his comeback to all of this stuff that's been levied against him.
Well, I can't say anything against it because I don't want to say he's guilty.
I agree with you, Skraby. I agree, but man, it's ugly looking. I mean, we all got a little carried away with the Matt Ariza thing back in the day. That was one person, though, one claim.
I don't know if it's just been one person.
This here is like
he's talking one accuser.
There was one accuser on Matt Ariza.
Yeah, got you.
And this girl turned out to be, fugazi.
I think
but this is like. I think people are coming out from everywhere against this Todd Golden guy.
I think that is the fear, right? Is that you get out there too quick and you start dropping accusations or assuming things, and then it turns a completely different way. Because to be real, I mean, you bring up the Matt Ariza thing. I mean, he basically had 2-3 years kind of
taken away from
him.
Yeah.
Now he's been fortunate enough. I think he landed on a team. I don't know if he's still with the said NFL team that he was on to begin the preseason, but. That's something he's still trying to overcome.
There's still a bit of a thing. And here's the other thing. I mean, Todd Golden did a news conference where he said what he said in defense. And his wife was with him, and they're two young boys. Can you imagine the hell his wife is going through, true or not?
Yeah.
Just having these kinds of things,
to be associated with
your husband. It's the guy you married, the guy you've had 2 young kids with, and now he's going through these kinds of charges.
Messy.
Boy.
Very messy.
I think I get in trouble when I forget to take out the trash. Where's Todd Golden? Where's Todd Golden sleeping these days? He's not. He doesn't even have a key to the house.
Yeah, he might not be in the same vicinity.
I don't think so.
Let's get to break. On the other side, Gwynn and Chris's NFL Pick'em. And then you guys get some Thursday night football. More Gwynn and Chris. Here's some traffic.
From the
All right, we're going to wrap things up here. 4:18 is the time. Gwynn and Chris, 97.3 The Fan. All right, we're going to do our NFL Pick'em segment here because that's what we do, even though Tony is crushing. The score is Tony 73, Chris 50. I don't think the 50 is a bad score. The 73 is an absurd score because Tony every week picks an upset and that team wins. The last 2 weeks he had Carolina winning, and they, of course, have won 2 in a row. So who's going to be his upset pick today? We'll find out shortly in a round of NFL Pick'em.
It's time for Tony and Chris to face off. Playing for a season-long prize of pride.
I see pride. I see power.
The guys make their picks, and then they stress over their picks all weekend.
No! Please, no! No! No!
Gwynn and Chris NFL Pick'em starts now.
Yeah, that no, that's what I keep saying every week as I watch Tony's upset team march on to victory. But before that, we have our 3-point game, 2-point game, and 1-point game. And I was going to do some statistics on this today, and then I got sidetracked, so I'll do it next week. But the statistics are very much in your favor, of course, as is the score. And you pick first this week with a big old lead. And you have the biggest spread of the season on the board this week.
We do, and I certainly will take it.
You'll take it. Yeah.
Detroit beating Jacksonville.
Yeah, Detroit's favored by 13 big ones in that game.
No faith in Mac Jones.
Not much.
0.
No. All right, my number one, or 3-point pick will be the 49ers at home over the Seahawks.
What is the spread of that one?
6.5.
Oh, okay.
I think the 49ers, and we don't pick with the spread, by the way, to those that are new to this game. We you got to win straight up, but you asked, that is the spread. The 49ers seem to have got it a little figured out, but I would like to see them get a touchdown in the red zone, as I'm sure Skraby would as well.
Speak it, Chris!
Can't do it.
Yeah, so many field goal opportunities. Debo doesn't.
You might hear me on Sunday yell, "Of course you're going to kick another field goal, Kyle!"
And then Debo will go over and choke somebody in the face.
Oh, did you see the John Boy video of the 49er breakdown?
No.
He went through it, and I guess the long snapper, I know we're in the middle of the game, the long snapper yelled at him, "You don't think he's trying, you bleep? Bleep you!" It was pretty good. Anyway.
Debo. All right, Tony's...
the great Mark Sweeney used to say, we get a truck driver to try.
There you go. All right.
My 2-point pick
is...
Give me your squad.
You have
Give
faith?
me MIA.
Wow.
Not missing in action, but the Miami Dolphins.
I mean, they are kind of missing in action.
Yes, they have been, but they got Las Vegas at home this week.
Yes, they do.
And so, Tony, you'll take them for 2. You can have them. I didn't have the confidence to pick them anyway. I don't have a lot of the big favorites this week are on the road, and I never like really picking road teams.
You're not a fan of that.
Not really, but if I pick Houston and Dallas wins, I'm going to really be annoyed. I'll take Houston Monday night.
He's going Houston.
At Dallas. I'm worried. All right, Tony for 1 point.
1 point for... Let's go. How about the Rams on the road?
The Rams at New England. Rams certainly engendered a lot of confidence Monday night. I'll pick against the other team that's a disaster right now. That would be the Bears, so that gives me Green Bay. At Chicago. All right, upset pick time. Who you got, Tony? I mean, honestly, pay attention to this, people. He's hit it almost every week.
Just go book it that they're going to win.
Straight up. Not even
Money
a spread.
line it.
Yeah, money line it. Tony? Now I'm putting a lot of pressure on you to do it.
Don't mess up, Tony.
That's right. I'm telling everybody to pay attention this week.
You guys might think I'm crazy for this, but after a lot of turmoil this week.
Oh, no.
Possible benching of your quarterback. I'm going to take the Bears at home.
Yeah. Tony does like these. He likes storylines in his upset pick.
I think it matters. They're at home.
Bears win. Bears
Give me
win.
the Bears, baby.
Bears win. I'm going to go off the board for Tennessee Titans at home. I was not impressed with Minnesota last week at Jacksonville. They go right back on the road. Sam Darnold struggling mightily, looking a little bit more like Sam Darnold as the weeks go on. So that would be worth 6 points to me if Tennessee can win. The Bears would be worth 5 to you if they win. All right, there's our picks. Hopefully it'll be a little closer by next week. Do we have a minute to update the Skraby? I was going to ask you this earlier so you'd have it prepared, but I forgot.
Yes.
You got sidetracked.
But the belt. What's going on with our Survivor pool? We've had 5 people for a while. Is it still 5?
We have 4 now.
Oh.
We have 4. Let me go get the results. And by the way, if you're still in it, I got to say, this ESPN Survivor thing is maybe the worst one because I cannot find out how to contact these people or even see who they are. So if you are part of it,
if
still,
you're one of the 4
reach out.
people that is still surviving in our pool that started with over 200 people, send Skraby a tweet or something.
Carrier pigeon. I don't care.
That's what I like.
We got 4 left, so it's
Mike Tyson's favorite.
Yes, he does love pigeons.
Yes, he does.
The person who is out now picked the Giants over the Panthers
last week.
Yes,
so that was the only one eliminated.
Yeah, the other selections.
I mean, we're getting down to the nitty gritty now. I mean, you've got 10 weeks in the bank. That means there's 10 teams that you cannot pick this week.
It's
very tough.
Eagles, Chiefs, 49ers, and Ravens were picked. So some of those people still had some really good teams left.
Okay. Well, 4 people left, man. Very impressive out there for the Survivor belt.
Yeah, it really is.
Good luck to you out there. All right, that's going to be pretty much it for us. We have a few seconds left. But Eagles and Commanders this evening. And then one quick Aztec basketball note. Miles Bird, pretty questionable for the Gonzaga game Monday night. Brian Dutcher said, we're holding out hope, but I guess he's in a walking boot. That's not a great sign.
No, that's not.
They're going to need everything they can to try and knock out Gonzaga Monday.
What do you mean? I just wear walking boots for fun. Wow, man!
Is your shoulder going to be
here? He won't be here the rest of the week, folks. So
try the veal.
My shoulder is.
Is your shoulder going to be in a sling by the 9th hole tomorrow?
I gotta say, I was walking Lucky the other day, and he yanked my shoulder.
Oh no!
It's not feeling the greatest right now.
Awesome.
But it will be fine. It will be fine.
All right, we'll let you know how our golf goes. We are taking tomorrow off. We do apologize for that, but we're going to get to hear. It'll be something fun, I think, to hear Ben and Woods tomorrow in the afternoon. So make sure you tune in.
I'll be listening on the way home.
We will be back on Monday with all the stories of our golf and the wrap-up of Week 11 of the National Football League. Also gets you ready for Aztecs Gonzaga, which is at Viejas on Monday night. So everybody have a good we're getting a long weekend. You're not. Sorry.
Hang with them.
It happens. What can we tell you? For Skraby, Tony, Chris, Eagles, Commanders, next on 97.3 The Fan.